Okay, here it is. The Suicune guide you've all been waiting for. Suicune is currently available as a raid boss in the Asia Pacific region. It's a water type legendary, the first water type legendary that we've seen. Now, of course, as a pure water type, its counters are going to be grass and electric types, and luckily we have some pretty decent ones available. Zapdos currently, if you're watching this in the present, well, you're always watching in the present, but if you're watching this in September, Zapdos is your best option for countering Suicune. If you're watching from the future and you've already got a Raikou, that's what you want to be using. So if you're using Zapdos, you want Charge Beam and either Zap Cannon or Thunderbolt. And if you're using Raikou, you want Thunder Shock and either Wild Charge or Thunderbolt. Probably Wild Charge, it's better. And as far as other electric types, you can still definitely use your powered up Jolteon. It's the strongest non-legendary electric type. So Thunder Shock and Thunderbolt is what you want on Jolteon, but just keep in mind, Jolteon is not nearly as tanky as either Raikou or Zapdos. Now, as far as grass types, any grass type with Solar Beam is going to be a pretty good choice. Exeggutor is the strongest overall grass type. You can use Exeggutor with either Confusion or Bullet Seed as its quick move. They're both very strong. And then Solar Beam. You want Solar Beam, but of course if you have Seed Bomb, that works too. And the next best grass type is Venusaur with either Razor Leaf or Vine Whip and Solar Beam. And honestly, if you don't have Exeggutor or Venusaur for some reason, you can really use any grass type with Solar Beam. Just keep in mind Exeggutor and Venusaur are definitely the top two. Now there's one important thing to consider when battling Suicune. Suicune has Hidden Power as a potential quick move, and Hidden Power can be any type, almost any type. Any type except for Normal and Fairy. So it has 16 different potential types for its quick move, and depending on what type your Suicune ends up having, that could determine which Pokemon are going to be better or worse counters. For example, if the Suicune you're battling has Hidden Power Rock, that's going to be super effective against Zapdos, which would make Raikou, well, Raikou's already a better counter, but would make Zapdos take super effective damage, and in that case, it would probably be better to use a grass type like Exeggutor or Venusaur. Now, if the Suicune you're battling has Ice or Fire or Flying Hidden Power, those are all going to be super effective against the grass types, in which case you're going to want to focus on the electric types. Except if it has Ice, then watch out for Zapdos also. It's definitely going to get confusing, but if you have a big enough group, it shouldn't matter. For those of you who struggle to get groups together, there are some ways that you can go about figuring out what hidden power Suicune has before you actually jump in for your full-on raid battle. Now, I honestly don't think it's going to matter too much. Personally, I haven't done any Suicune raids yet, but Suicune has a pretty low attack stat, and if you notice that it's dealing super effective damage to one of your counters, say Zapdos, then if you don't beat it on that first round, maybe try using something other than Zapdos the second time. Now, if you really want to figure it out before you go in and battle, there's a flowchart that was posted to the Sylph Road subreddit by JT Atomico, which essentially shows you how to figure out what type a Suicune's hidden power is by seeing whether it deals neutral, super effective, or not very effective damage to the Pokemon that you're using. So I'm just going to put it up here. I'll also link to it in the description. I don't want to spend too much time on it because, like I said, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. But essentially what happens is you send out one Pokemon, you start with Ghastly, and if it deals super effective damage, you follow the green line and send out Machop next. If it deals not very effective damage, you follow the red line and send out a Geodude next. And if it deals neutral damage, you follow the black line and send out Charmander next. You do the same thing until you arrive at an endpoint. So for example, if you do Ghastly first, it's super effective. You do Machop second, it's super effective again. You have a Psychic type hidden power Suicune. Now, the time that Suicune's hidden power really actually matters is when you catch Suicune. Suicune has two potential quick moves, Extra Sensory, which is Psychic type, or Hidden Power. And with Hidden Power, it actually has the potential to have a double Water type moveset. Now, I've already said this many times, but Suicune is actually not a very good Pokemon. It's weaker overall than Vaporeon. Niantic, you need to get these stats fixed, honestly. The first stat rebalance was definitely a step in the right direction, but the fact that Vaporeon outclasses a legendary Pokemon, Suicune, something's just not right there. And again, I think a large part of it is due to the lack of an HP constant. Adding a constant to the HP formula is going to bring Pokemon a lot closer together so that Pokemon with high HP aren't incredibly broken, blissy. Now, back to Suicune. With Hidden Power Water and Hydro Pump, that's going to be its best moveset. But of course, with Hidden Power, you have a 1 in 16 chance of actually getting Water type Hidden Power. With Rock type Hidden Power, Suicune could be a decent counter to Fire types, especially Moltres, which is gone forever now, so that doesn't matter. But if we do ever see Ho-Oh, Suicune with Rock, Hidden Power, and Hydro Pump could be a decent counter there also. Now, if you do catch a Suicune with extra sensory, it's probably always worth it to just use a fast TM and see what type Hidden Power you're going to get. It's always going to be the same, so if you continue to use fast TMs, you'll always get the same type Hidden Power. But it's always worth a shot because Hidden Power Water and Hydro Pump is better than Extra Sensory and Hydro Pump. But Extra Sensory Hydro Pump is its second best moveset, so you definitely want Hydro Pump, but always check for that Water type Hidden Power. Now also, when you're catching Suicune, 1613, 1613 is the CP you're looking for a 100% IV Suicune. And 1613 is the lowest of any legendary we've had so far because of the stat formula. Niantic. Now again, just like Raikou and Entei, Suicune has a 2% base catch rate, which means with an excellent throw, a curveball, and a golden raspberry, you have about a 15% chance of catching it on that throw. If you don't get the curveball, it's 9.25%. If you had a great throw with the curveball and the golden raspberry, it's a 12.75% chance. So your odds are very low. These are difficult Pokemon to catch. Suicune does have kind of a floaty jump animation, so sometimes you might be able to safely throw at the end of a jump, but it's usually better to wait for the attack. Use the Prodigy's Nation trick, set the size of your circle first, and then throw on the second half of the attack animation so that the circle doesn't change size, and you have the best odds of the Pokemon not attacking or jumping to dodge your ball. So with that said, it's kind of a shame that we can't leave legendary Pokemon in gyms because Suicune is a defensive Pokemon and that's really where it would shine, more as a defender than as an attacker. Again, I really think Suicune illustrates why Pokemon GO needs another stat rebalance. In the main series games, Suicune's base stat total is 580. All of the legendary beasts are, in fact. In the main series games, Vaporeon and all of the evolutions' base stat total is 525. So the evolutions are supposed to be weaker Pokemon than these legendary beasts, but in the case of Suicune and Vaporeon, Vaporeon maxes out at 3100 CP, while Suicune maxes out at 2800. And again, that's because of the way that base stats were ported from the main series games to Pokemon GO, and I think it's something that needs to be addressed. Starting with an HP constant would be the easiest way to bring a little bit more balance to the game. So anyway, that's Suicune. Don't let me discourage you. It's still a beautiful Pokemon and one that I'm very excited to catch. I don't know if it's going to migrate to the east or to the west next, but I'm hoping it goes to the US. So that I can get it as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, I hope that helps, and if you want to vlog, check out the video that I posted earlier today. Somewhere. Bye.